Merry meet Annie here. Something is about to happen. But here's the rub. It won't unless everything returns to its beginning time. The season teaches us that. What is late autumn if not a reset of the year? Everything taken down to its most basic, to its essence, just waiting for the return of the sun, come the solstice, to begin again. Do you have a reset button? Have you had a reset day recently? No, really, there is such a thing. It's a day set aside from everything in order to make sense of everything, to prioritize, reorder, and refocus. Originally, it meant taking a day off of work to work on life instead. In my day, they called it a mental health day, but this new day of reset isn't just about withdrawing. It's about planning a way forward. I learned about a reset day on one of my favorite websites, The Art of Manliness, theartofmanliness.com. Brett and Kate McKay's website. I think it started with their book. Yep, one of my absolute favorite sites, The Art of Manliness. I discovered upon it quite by accident, and I wasn't personally seeking to discover my inner manliness. I was, though, searching out the concept of the male as I explored aspects of the male divine. And ta-da, the art of manliness introduced itself to me. From their article on reset days. Instead of constantly putting out the fire while another rages, you give yourself a chance to extinguish all the hot spots. You give yourself an entirely fresh start, a clean slate upon which to begin your efforts anew. It completely clears your mind of all the cobwebs formed by unfinished to-dos, burdensome distractions, and nagging questions. A reset day creates a temporal landmark, a date which separates a past period of time from a present or future one, and has been shown to increase your motivation going forward. Well, if that intrigued you, I'll save you the effort of a Google, as I had to explore what temporal landmark meant. And it's fascinating and could be a vlog on its own, and well, maybe someday it will be. There are moments in time which separate us from the past, when there was a before them and an after them experience. They can be calendar moments, specific days, weeks, months, or years. Events that align to times such as birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and such. Moments when something significant happened, and as a moment then captured forever in time. What the dates need in order to be temporal landmarks is there needs to be a conscious recognition that something ends and something begins. Psychologically, a temporal landscape is a date when we accept our past, especially its flaws and failures, and declare we're moving in a new direction. It's a Genesis movement. It's connected to my video on Genesis. We take a moment to move ourselves backward in time, erasing some of what was keeping us from moving forward. And then we head off in a fresh direction again into a new and better version of ourselves. Kind of saving the best of ourselves as we move on. Two things happen, they say, when we experience true temporal landmarks. When we declare one is, it then creates a desire to move forward in a certain direction. And if we set a specific date around that, we anticipate and prepare for that moment. All of our creative juices get flowing, and we arrive at the moment, eager and raring to go. It's referred to as the fresh start syndrome. Admittedly, that's an actual syndrome, the fresh start syndrome. Not like the Barclay's protomorphosis syndrome I referred to in my Genesis video. And what the heck does that have to do with this time of the year? It's a time to anticipate beginning again, or even beginning to begin when it comes to fresh, new possibilities. Out of one of my poems, every day, every season, every year born anew, each moment holds a precious spark of life to come. At the source of everything, the magic of creation. The Art of Manliness advises that the goal of a reset day, a personal day of Genesis, I could say, is to prepare to hit the ground running. And that, my friends, is the energy of this last week or so of autumn and the season of water. What do we need to do to be prepared to jumpstart into the energy of the winter solstice? Stealing a bit from the Art of Manliness's suggestion for an 8-hour day with tasks for each hour, I've created my own reset process for this time of the year, slightly modified but in the spirit of their original article. First, tidy up. Literally, tidy up the house. Physically tidy up your life. Physical clutter needs to go. It's a collection of things past. Then do a brain dump. That's their term from the website, and their explanation for it is awesome. To tame the tyranny of open loops, perform a brain dump by writing down anything and everything that's been weighing on your mind. Try to write down any questions, big or small, that have been niggling at you lately, but you keep putting off figuring out. The purpose is to acknowledge all of the bits buzzing around our heads. They are in the end nothing but distractions, or at least that's where my thoughts on this went. Then do what you can. In the list of things from your brain dump, there are things you can check off the list. Little tasks that need to be done, as well as the larger ones, but start with the simplest first. Move through as many things as you can. Get those little buggers out of your head. Most of them are there only because we have continued to procrastinate. Then, think about bigger things. Things you've been wanting to do, goals you have established for yourself, hopes you have had for the future. Okay, so this is not the easiest thing in the reset. But if we've done our brain dump first, it's a bit easier. And then reflect. Think about the reasons you drifted away from those bigger things. Don't judge yourself. Just be honest in considering how and why you drifted away from things you had declared were important to you. Commit to even just one thing aligned to each of those things. One thing aligned to each. And then when you attain that, think of one more thing, and so on. And then get organized. Specifically, establish a routine or get back to one. So often we fail to meet our goals because we fall into chaos and time vanishes in that confusion. The point's to keep us connected to the things we have determined and the next ones that will come. Then tie up loose ends. Yep, we'll see some of those if we've gone through the prior steps. And then unwind and rejuvenate. My rephrasing of this is, don't drain the brain. Be kind to yourself. Take a break, as they put it on the website. Find something that feels good and do it. And then finally, hit the ground running. You've established what is important. You've re-engaged with your support of it. You've reflected and taken time to refresh. You have a plan in place. Now go for it. For me, this is my plan for the ending days of the season of Samhain. It couldn't have been said better than what I read on that website. And I love that it was an inspiration from what might seem an unlikely place. Coming to the winter solstice, we begin again. And there is power in looking forward to that, to getting, as my grandfather would say, our ducks in a row. And then picking up momentum. It is time for reset. An emotion, energetic, and spiritual reset. And here's to the beauty of late autumn being a gentle and yet firm opportunity for a bit of temporal reset. Getting back to the basics in preparation for making something of that. I'm going to go for it. Are you? Also from a poem that I wrote, just a couple lines from it that are in my reflections for today. It is for us to declare the beauty of our way forward. All that we are meant to be resides within us. Maybe we just need to press our personal reset button. I wish you mirth and reverence. Merry part.